Okay. So we are recording. So welcome to this call again, guys, to our Forex in Heels, Forex in Heels session. This is our first mentorship session for the Kenyan team and anyone else around the world who wants to join us. So basically, like my name is Lilian Okado. You guys know me because we are all members except for Washuka, I believe. I don't know if Oscar Musimi, are you a member or a guest?
Yeah.
I haven't seen your face before.
He's a member.
I joined.
Oh, you're a member. Ah, okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yes, I'm a guest.
Sorry?
Washuka is a guest.
Oh, so Chris is the guest. Okay, as well as Washuka. Okay, fine. So we have two guests. Now for the guests on this call today, what we are doing is we are just doing a mindset and a motivation call. So our industry is Forex, as you saw on the flyer that you used to get on this call. And the Forex industry is the largest financial market in the world. And basically for us to become very good traders, we've been taught that trading is 90% psychology. For those who have read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, I'm hoping you guys have read that book. I've talked about it a lot since I began trading. And it's just one of those books that you can keep on reading over and over and over again. There's a soft copy and it's also on YouTube, Trading in the Zone. Yeah, so I'll encourage you guys to just read it. So basically, so today we are doing mindset, and for the guests on this call, we have another part of our business whereby we also refer people to this business. Paul, you saw this earlier. We were talking about, when you go out and talk to people about our company, there's a way in which you can be compensated. So there are two parts to this company. There's the trading, where we go into the Forex market or the crypto market or the binary market, and we trade on a day-to-day basis. And then there's the referral bit of the company. Now, so generally, this call is just about mindset for whatever part of the business that you're doing. So I'm going to refer to some notes here. I didn't do a PowerPoint. I leave the PowerPoints for Shiro. She's excellent at doing PowerPoints. Next week, she'll be hosting the mentorship call. And I believe it will be fantastic because I have seen her doing these things and I cannot copy her. I am me, so I will stick to talking to you guys. So for today, what I want us to talk about, and I'm going to try and personalize this session and give you my personal opinion and experience. Maybe not opinion, more of experience since I began trading. So today we are talking about consistency. Okay, so and building consistency. And let me tell you why I talk about consistency. Whether and when I say I'm talking from a personal experience, it's because I believe that because for a long period of time, when I look back at the things that I've done in life and everything, the businesses, the what, etc., when I've succeeded, it's because of consistency. It's because I have developed this thing that I do the same way every single day. So I think I'm a good student, not all the time, because if I was a good student, I'd probably be chairman 10, chairman 100, So I still have some ways to go. But and let me just go back to before my writing career, where I started now basically. And I'm just going through the notes. Some of you may not believe this, but I'm an introvert, or some of you probably know I am an introvert. That's why you find I'm not very common in public areas. Yesterday, I actually left the house after 3 months. I know you can't believe that. Uncle Migu will just be like, what? Because he's always out of the house. So why? Because that's just my personality. I'm comfortable in my own space. I'm comfortable at home, not because of anything, but that's deep down, I'm an introvert, but I have learned to be an extrovert when it matters. So that means when I'm talking to clients, when I'm doing this presentation, when I am talking to, just doing the business, when I'm trading, that bit of the extrovert comes because I'm very aggressive when I'm trading. So where I started is growing up, because of the family dynamics, I grew up in a blended family. So blended family in Kenya, we talk about extended family. So you talk about your stepsisters, brothers, step parents. So that's how I grew up. So, and then I am the only child from my mother. Okay, not really. I'm the only child from my mother and my father. Does that make sense? From my birth mom and my birth dad. But I have, then my mom is there, my dad is there, then I'm there. So I literally was an only child and a firstborn, but I was also a middleborn. You understand? So I had a step brother who was older. I have and a younger step sister. I mean, they're my sisters. I don't really call them step, but I grew up with them. So I didn't really grow up with my mom. I grew up with my dad and my step family. So that dynamic, okay, because when I've never grown up with my mom, okay, and maybe that's what has helped me become very independent because I'm extremely independent. There's a bit of me that missed some things in life. Like I have some casoros, if I can say so, yeah, because of just being in a very strange environment. And I grew up an introvert. I used to do my own thing. I used to be scared of people. I remember my folks would go to visit friends, and I just could not interact with anybody. Like if you ask any of my friends in primary school, they'll tell you this girl never used to talk. So when you see me here yapping, I developed this habit. But the beginning of my development of this habit of being a bit out there was now in after I finished campus. So most of my time I was very calm, quiet person. But when I got out of campus, I was forced into entrepreneurship. Why? Because after campus, because of my personality and because I didn't know what I wanted in life. You know, I don't know if you guys, when you are out of campus, you're like, I want to be a lawyer, etc. I never really knew what I wanted to be. Yeah. So I took a bit of time. But the fortunate thing is, a friend of mine introduced me to network marketing with Tianchi, a company called Tianchi. And then another one called Dynafarm. Then another one called Action Wealth. I never made money with any of those companies. I was too young to make money. I didn't know. We just used to go for meetings. We listen to people. They give us stories. We get excited. We leave. But I was also very broke at that time. I mean, we didn't have money or anything. We just used to hang out with my friends. No, we were just from campus, okay? But what really changed for us, because for myself especially, is when my friend, and that's why I tell you guys, network marketing will change your life beyond anything that you can think about. So I met my friend who she's still a networker now. She's always been a networker. She used to drag us to all these meetings. We just go and sit and listen. And she dragged me to another meeting. And when she did that, it was a network marketing meeting. And it was about personal development. So there's a reason why I'm giving you this background, okay, guys? So the meeting, the company was a personal development company, and all we were learning was, you know, how to become, to believe in ourselves. Like we used to watch videos, Les Brown. That's when I was introduced to Les Brown, Bob Proctor, all those people. And what changed my life was now my mentor, my first mentor. And he was now the owner of this network marketing company. And what he told me one day was, you can be in what he told us, he used to tell us in the presentations, you can be anything that you want to be in life. Like literally, you can be anything that you want to be in life. So that was the first time I had that. And I remember it was very strange because first of all, I was an introvert. I didn't know what I wanted. I was just not an outgoing person. But because of being in that environment, I began to learn sorry, there's somebody on the call that is distracting the call. I mean, it's just, okay. Yeah, so because of that environment, I ended up growing pole just over time, but it took me a very long time. So, but what I remember my mentor telling me at that time was, Lilian, I know you're a scared person. I know you've had a different lifestyle. I know you're not confident, but you can become that person. And the only way for someone like you to become that person is if you can learn to be consistent. And I really didn't understand what he meant, but I was like, okay, fine, consistency, right? So consistency basically, yeah, is the difference between success and failure. And when we are consistent, it means we are dedicated to carrying an activity or completing a task. So we are dedicated to doing what? To carrying on an activity or completing a task. So those are the components of consistency. That means, guys, if you're going to do this business, whether you're going to trade or become a trader, or you're going to become a networker and build this company, you have to be dedicated to trading and completing your academy, completing learning how to trade. It doesn't stop. You're going to have to be dedicated every single day to showing people this opportunity, to learning about the compensation, learning everything about our company, our academy, and so on, right? And then it says, it means we are clear on what we want to accomplish and are taking the necessary steps to reach it. So to be consistent is a commitment, okay? It's a commitment that we need to make to ourselves, okay? It's about keeping our word to carry out what we have agreed to do. So you guys on this call this evening, okay, I'll just say, first of all, you being here is a commitment. You could have been anywhere. We are 15 people on the call. We made an announcement and said, this is our first mentorship call, but only 16 of you have committed out of the hundreds of us in this Kenyan community to be here. So that's the beginning of consistency. Now, the one question I want to ask you guys is, why do we struggle with consistency? Okay, because we do struggle with consistency. When you look at our Zoom calls, for example, whether they're the morning motivation calls, the mentors, Randy, Webb, and Wanda, whether it's our Zoom calls, whether it's this presentation, whatever it is, why do we struggle? We're not always at all meetings. I know Bernard Kiraithe, our leader, always talks to us about, you need to keep on doing the same thing every day. Do we do the same thing every day? Do we ensure that we are on all calls? When we are told that, when we agree that we're going to show 10 people a day or 5 people a day, even when you tell yourself that you're going to do 5 presentations a day, do we do it every day? So the reason why we struggle with consistency can include lack of patience, desire for instant gratification, and please note it applies to both trading and building. Lack of clarity and focus, not having supporting habits or triggers, and having an all or nothing mindset. All or nothing means either I get it all or I'm not interested. So we are not really patient enough to just build slowly by slowly or learn slowly. Like if you don't get it all, you just don't want to have it at all. And then according to John Maxwell, he says that the small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. Now, when I told you about when I started my network marketing career, which was not really a career, it was me just going to meetings to socialize. I was too young to understand what they were doing. That was in 2004. Was it 2005? That was the first time I went to a network marketing meeting. I didn't do anything, but that is when my consistency began in terms of beginning to build the habit of understanding the industry. And it took me until 2014 to actually now begin to succeed in network marketing. Because in between that, I forgot about it. I started doing my own things. I got into writing and everything. But even when I got into writing, the same person who introduced me to network marketing is the same person who introduced me to writing. Because he told me about that, you could learn how to write. You could write and be paid for it. And the interesting thing is, I was not necessarily a writer, but I used to, like reading and whatnot and stuff. And slowly, I started writing articles after articles, and eventually it became a career. Now, why I'm telling you this is because for me personally, when I look at my journey in my businesses, all the businesses that I've done, save for the last one, which was due to fraud, I have actually been able to succeed at them. And not because I'm very amazing, but because I do the same thing every day. So let's say Bernard, and I remember when we were in a previous company with Bernard Kiraithe, some of you may be familiar with that. We were in a previous company with him, a travel company. I remember Bernard used to say, show up at 7 o'clock, and he's on this call, he can tell you. Every single day, not every single day, I think it was Monday. Every Monday we would show up at 7 o'clock. I have always been that person who said, I will always be the hardest worker in the room. So you guys can be on this call, but I know that I'm the hardest worker in this call right now. It's not necessarily true, but I tell myself that for me to get what I want, I have to work harder than all of you. So that's why you'll find that, and I even see Shiro sometimes on the call. Bernard is always on these calls. Simon, I'll be there on the 5 a.m. call. I'll be there on the 5:30 p.m. call with Randy Webb. I'll be there on all the Zooms. Sometimes I'll miss one or two, maybe because I'm engaged or that day is not a good day. But since I've been in network marketing, since I've been doing my writing business, I was always the hardest worker mentally. So one of the things that I think we need to do, like the tips on staying consistent in what you're doing, and for those guys, especially the traders, when I started trading, I blew a number of accounts. I won't even say how many, but there were many, because I don't want to discourage the new people. And obviously, because of the background that I was coming from, all you guys have a rough idea of where I was coming from. But I was trading, losing money, trading, losing money, trading, and I did that for 3 months consecutively. Now, there's a difference between myself, for example, and some of the people who we started with. When we started, all your faces here are very strange right now, because we started with Shiro and Bernard and a whole load of other people. So it's 19 months in. And 19 months in, Shiro and Bernard and myself are still there. Mind you, we had Platinum 2000s, we had Platinum 1000s, many of them. In fact, we had more than we have now. Am I right, Shiro? Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Right now, the leaders we have right now are less than we had last year. However, somehow, those leaders who were ahead of us, because we had leaders ahead of us, are no longer in the company, okay? They are no longer building. Some may be trading, some may not be trading. There are a number of leaders who were better traders than me. I won't mention them. I remember taking their trades. In fact, they're the ones who inspired me to start a channel. Because I remember they started a channel, I was like, hey, even me, I can start a channel. I didn't think about it. But these people were traders who were really celebrated in Kenya, celebrated, by other traders out there. So guys, I'm not the first master trader, okay? There've been others before me in our industry in Kenya. I'm not the first leader Platinum 2000. There've been others. But there's a reason why I'm still here. And there's a reason why the rest are not here. But I can tell you for sure, consistency is what has kept me here. Why? I believe I have blown more accounts than anybody, most people, but I've still been here. I remember even Shiro may know about this because we were together. And one of the biggest accounts I ever blew in trading was about $1,400. And that was when was that, Shiro? Do you remember?
You're frozen.
Oh, sorry. Do you remember which month that was, Shiro?
No, we didn't hear the question. I
I
didn't
was
hear the
asking,
question.
I was saying, like, one of the biggest accounts I ever blew as a trader was an account the size of $1,400. Like, I literally wiped it out, and it was in a trade. It was in the trade. It was in US oil or something. And which month was that? Do you remember? Last year.
Around March, April.
Yeah, around there. Now, guys.
Yeah.
Actually, it was later. It was April, around June there. It was much later. And the thing is,
it was June. It was around June.
It was June, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, can I just confess something here? I started my channel in May. Okay, I started my trading channel in May, and I blew one of the biggest accounts the following month, but nobody knew. And we were with other traders who were also trading together, and they also blew their own amounts and whatnot and stuff. But the thing is, no one knew that I blew the account, and I didn't trade, I think, for 2 months. But I was every single day sharing trades to the Kenyan community. Does that make sense? But I was not making money. So some of you on this call who are then there were actually making money from my pips because I was sharing profitable trades, but I didn't have money to trade because I had blown it. And I was also psychologically disturbed and mentally, because that was an account I had compounded, I think, from about oh, sorry, I was muted. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So I was talking about the fact that I just want to share some tips on consistency. And I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? Can you see?
It's not very, yeah, well, yeah, it's a bit blurry, but I guess.
It's still blurry. Okay.
Too close.
Fine. This is a book. This is a book that I wrote in 2007. Okay, this was my goal list. My goals. You know, like the way you decide to write your goals. And I've kept this book from 2007. We're now in 2020. And these goals, my mentor, and I'll just tell you guys, I'll recommend that you do the same thing. My mentor then told me to write a minimum of 300 goals. Yeah. And obviously at that time, my goals were not very big because I didn't know much. I was still learning and etc. And I remember one of the very first goals I wrote was become a millionaire. Do you guys have a goal list like that one? Become a millionaire. And I had said by December 2007, January 28, 2008, I will be a millionaire. Have you guys ever written a goal like that one? And then you don't hit it. So I am not yet a millionaire. But guess what, guys? I'm still here. And so there are other goals that I wrote, like to meet Kofi Annan. I don't know, I was in a different space there. To buy a house, to obtain property, to obtain real estate. And these are all the goals, okay? The reason why I'm sharing this is to tell you that you can write as many goals as you want, okay? And you might never reach them 90% of the time. But when I did my analysis in January 2000, this year, because I decided to do my analysis of my goals, I realized I had hit at least 30% of them. And that might seem small, but it's significant. And I remember the interesting thing about this goal is one of my goals was to become a Forex trader, to learn how to trade Forex. Guys, I never knew about IM Academy. Yeah, but here I am, right? And I'm trading. So for me, what I'm trying to say is, let's write our goals down. Okay, that's one, in terms of what do we want to achieve in this company. And I'll give you a typical example. When we went to the US with Shiro for the first time for IM Academy, yeah, and Bernard, we decided that we were going in February in Vegas. Shiro will tell you her story one day, and we'll both share this story on stage when we are chairman. But the way we traveled to the US was very interesting. I won't focus on that. But we set a goal. The same with Dallas. We set a goal. And the reason why I'm saying this right now is because you need mentors and you need to develop personally, in terms of personal development, to get to become a Randy Webb or whoever it is you're getting to. So for example, for me, I had always known that personal development will make me hit Platinum 2000. It will help me hit Chairman 10. It will help me hit Chairman whatever. And that's why I'm always on all these calls. So that's my point. Like if you guys can begin to work on your personal development, like you can begin to work on all areas of your life. Like you have to have a mentor for all areas of your life, whether it's your health, your wealth, your spiritual space, etc. So for me, that's the first thing, like write down your goals so that you can stay consistent, because this book, I've always referred to it since 2007. And even when I don't hit my goals, I still I'm happy when at least I do one thing. Then it tells me, okay, life is still moving. Then the second one is get a mentor and work on your personal development. Since 2007, I've always had a mentor. I've changed them over the years as I've developed as a leader. Yeah. So like in this company right now, do you guys have Forex mentors? For the people who want to learn how to trade, who is your Forex mentor? Who is your Forex mentor? Anyone who has a Forex mentor? Someone
Dr.
they want.
K.
Sorry? Who?
Dr. K.
Dr. K. Yes. Who else has a Forex mentor? Mercy? Have you identified anyone in the academy who can mentor you? Happiness?
You. I have Lilian, I have Manny,
Manikinones? Yes.
and Lilian.
And myself, I am humbled. Yes. So have a mentor. Let me tell you guys, one of my mentors in the academy is I like Christopher Derrick. I like what's his name? Mike Miles. I like what's his name? Chris Terry and Oran Wright. Those four. I really follow them religiously, especially Chris Terry in the beginning. Now he doesn't do trading, but in the beginning when he used to do market mastery, my strategy is a combination of Manny Quinones, Christopher Terry, and who else? What's his name? I said so, and Oran Wright and Luke Longmire. If you guys watch Luke Longmire, and then you watch Manny Quinones, and then you watch Chris Terry's original whatevers, you'll notice that Manny talks about, I think Manny talks about divergence. Does he talk about divergence? Happiness,
Yes.
that's right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't trade divergence, but that word divergence helped me develop my trading strategy because I began to understand what divergence was. I didn't know. And that's when the light bulb went for me in my trading in November last year. Because November is when I really became good as a trader. So my point is from January, when I started learning how to trade, I became a good trader, from my opinion, in November of last year. That's about 10 months. So if you're here 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and you're still not a good trader, it's okay. The light bulb can go out in the 10th month. So have a mentor and things like that. Then continuous personal development. And then also, guys, stop seeking approval in terms of just generally. Like sometimes when you do these presentations and you talk to your friends about the company and they're not interested and you feel like, you know, life is going to hell, you know, you're talking to people, they're not signing up. My question to you is, does it matter so much that people are not signing up? If it does, then there's a problem, because that means that you're seeking approval in quotes or affirmation about the value of this company from outside people. If someone tells you IM Academy doesn't work and they are not in the academy, they've not gone through the academy, why are you giving them permission to actually convince you that this academy doesn't work? Why are you giving them permission to stop you from talking to other people about the academy? Yeah. So let's for me, I always say I never, there's one thing I don't do. I believe in I am so much that nobody can, not even my if I had a husband, not even my husband can tell me don't trade or don't listen. It's impossible. No, it can't happen. And maybe that's why I don't have a husband. On a light note, anyways. And then sometimes you won't even know that you need a mentor in any area of your life, because guys, this is not just about mentorship in building the business or trading. You need mentors in your personal life. Like if you're having personal issues, you need a mentor. If you have relational issues, you need a relationship mentor. If you have spiritual issues, you need spiritual mentor. So you need a mentor in all areas of your life. And sometimes you won't know which area until you start having recurring problems in that area. So that's why if you're struggling with your trading, you need a mentor in trading. If you're struggling with building, you need to be on call with Randy Webb, Jason Brown all the time. Don't try and convince yourself that you can do it on your own. And that's why it's also good, like, of course, to go for all these seminars. Of course, now we can't go for them and everything. Then the fourth thing, I don't know if you guys are taking notes or if I'm making any sense. Do things that force you out of your comfort zone. I don't know what your comfort zones are right now, because we are all different. But you cannot operate in your comfort zone. You cannot operate where you feel like now, I'm a good presenter, so to speak, right? And I'm saying this in quotes because I'm not necessarily the best presenter, but I'm confident in my presentation. For me, I know every single day that there's a risk of me getting comfortable doing presentations and not building the business. So I'll be there for all the presentations, doing them for you guys, but personally, I'm not doing the business. And I realized that last year at some point, when I wasn't ranking up, I wasn't growing the team, and I realized I was just doing presentations for people. Lilo, do presentation. Yeah. But so people are growing, they're adding people to the team. Me, I'm just moving backwards. And that's when I told myself, no, every presentation, like today, I had a guest at lunchtime. I had a guest at, okay, actually, I've not had a guest at 4 o'clock, but I have a guest coming at 7 o'clock. It's one guest because the others didn't confirm, but at least I've shown 2 people today. So the thing is, if I don't keep on building or trading, I'll become comfortable. If I don't keep on going into the academy, like, let me tell you guys, and this is a true story, I still go to the academy. I still go and listen to Luke Longmire and Kimberly Torres of Gold Cup. I still jump into binary sessions with Brandon Boyd and Matthew Fair. I still jump into Oran Wright sessions. I'm a good trader, by the way, by all means. However, guys, I'm not a $1 million trader. Are you a $1 million trader? Are you a $1 million earner in the business? Are you making $1 million in building? Are you a platinum 2000? Are you a platinum 5000? No. So if you're not there, why are we not still going into the academy as students? Like going and listening to a session. Like now I like that Bernard was on a session with Maniquiniones, okay? And that is what makes him a good leader. He leads by example. So he's not just telling you, go into the academy and learn. If you want to become, unless you're comfortable making $100 in a month, then you can stay where you are. Unless you're comfortable taking my trades forever, you can stay where you are, because I'll always give you trades. But the idea with this academy, guys, is not for you to take my trades forever. God forbid something happens to me today. What will happen to all of you? And this is a come to Jesus moment. Happiness. What will happen to you? Ndegwa. What will happen to you? Shiro. This is a come to Jesus. If I drop dead today, okay, God forbid, what will happen to you guys? Will you now start scrambling for a new trader? Will you try and get a new trader to whatever, to mold into trading so that they can share for you trades? So I'm very conscious, and I need to say this now so that you guys can also understand. There's a reason why I am usually very hesitant about doing trading sessions with you guys. There's a reason, because I don't want to become the academy. And I say this with a lot of humility. I am a good trader, yes, and I've had a good run success, and I could go out. By the way, I could go out there and sell my trade ideas for people. People have approached me and told me, Lilian, so you sell us your trade ideas, we'll pay for them. So you set up your own company and come and teach us. You come and mentor us, and we'll pay you money. So you trade for us this account. People have done that. But I keep on saying, if I do that, I'm taking away the gift that God has given to me to pass on to other people. My goal is not to necessarily just take the fame of trading, to be the only master trader. My goal is that you guys can also go into the academy, okay, and learn how to trade, so that if I'm not here, you can learn. So what I'm trying to encourage you guys is, in as much as you take my trade ideas, please plug into the academy. You're paying 17,000 every single month for your school fees. It's not just so that we can earn money taking pips. It's also so that by the time you're done, you're educated. You know how to calculate pips. You know how to analyze the indices market. You know what divergence is. You know what binary is. In fact, if you're a leader on this call today, if you're a leader, and I'm talking to the leaders, I don't know if you're a leader, all of us are leaders. If you're a leader, I'll encourage you, please upgrade your membership at some point in your career to elite package. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. The elite package has a lot. It has a lot more. It has more tools. It has more trading tools. It has the binary academy. It has the cryptocurrency academy. And this is why I'm saying this. When you go out to do a presentation for somebody and you meet somebody who wants to learn how to trade cryptocurrency, it's not enough for you to say, yes, we have a cryptocurrency academy. You need to know who are the cryptocurrency traders. You need to understand what is cryptocurrency, just in general. You don't need to become an expert, but you need to understand. You need to know what is binary. How is binary traded? You can't just keep on referring people to other traders. Oh, Lilo is there. Oh, Sijui who is there. What if the academy today goes down? Today, if Christeri says he's tired of all of us, he's made enough money, it's the same thing, right? You understand? So let's identify one thing and start working on being good. So like, I like what Happiness is doing now. She's now learning how to, she's now focusing on learning harmonics. Let me tell you what my dream is for Team Kenya. And this is a very honest thing. I talked to Kendago about it. I've talked to Bernard about it. This is my dream for Kenya, okay? My dream and my vision for Kenya, especially in the trading scenario, is that we can develop more traders, okay? That we can have someone who is great in cryptocurrency, someone who is great in binary, and someone like Kendago. I've been encouraging him to learn how to trade binary so that he can come and be the Matthew Thayer in our market and make $10,000 like what Matt did 2 days ago in seconds. You know, why do we always have to wait for Randy to decide he wants? Like, I don't know if you guys, Shiro, if you remember, and Bernard, when we started with Randy in the beginning, Randy was trading ECC 111. Sindio? He was telling us to trade. Then he was telling us to trade Dr. K or something. Then he was doing, so what Randy was doing, and I've watched Randy over time, he was trying to find the thing that works for him. And Randy has grown as a trader as a result. And what I did in the beginning was, I was like, Randy Webb is my mentor. Whatever Randy says, if he says jump, I ask how high. If Bernard says jump, you say how high. You cannot come up with excuses and say, oh, you're being told to get to plan a launch party. You're being asked to plan a launch party. You say, oh, I'm busy, blah, 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 etc., etc. Guys, we can't do that anymore. Yeah. So basically, that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't want to talk for too long because it's already 6:30. But yeah, at the end of the day, what I wanted to add was, so yeah, so yes, to do things that you're forced out of your comfort zone. So being forced out of your comfort zone is doing presentations. Okay, Happiness, thank you for volunteering. Volunteering to learn a product in our company to the extent that all the rest of us, when we bring on new members, we can pass on that education to them so that they're not just relying on Lilo to make money. If Lilo is sick, then that day there's no trades, and that's the reality. When I've flown to Vegas for an event, then that week you guys are not trading, yeah. And then so do things then also always volunteer to do stuff. That is something also I have always done, and I learned to do it early. And again, I was taught this by my mentor, to always volunteer to do stuff. So you'll find that even before this year, last year, I was all over the place. If Bernard says I need Sijui somebody on Saturday, the leaders on Saturday, I was always there. And Shiro, you can attest to that. Am I right? I was always there. Yeah. If you needed something to be done, Lilo was always there. In fact, at some point, I used to get very frustrated because it would be exhausting. But I realized for me to level up to Jason Brown level, I can't just be sitting there waiting for things to happen. I can't. I have to say I'm a leader. and I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to launch, do a launch party. I don't have to wait for Bernard or Shiro to tell me that I have. And that's the thing about us as human beings. We get comfortable. And that has been my worry with my trading. Kenyans are getting comfortable, okay? Because I see it. You ask me the same questions over and over again. What is the SL? What SL should we use? Since I started sharing trades in May, people ask the same questions. What are the common questions do people ask? Risk management, hedging. Let me tell you something else I noticed, and you guys are gonna tell me, and we're going to be very transparent here, and I'm not putting anyone on the spot. But the day we did our hedging training, risk management and hedging, I think many of you on the call, except for the guests, right? So for the guys who are on the call, I deliberately recorded the session, okay? And the next 2 days later, I took a while, I think a week. I took a while before I posted the video because I was not very organized. But a week later, I posted the video for hedging. I'm going to ask you guys here, how many people watched that video? All of you guys are in the channel. There's Happiness, there's Bernard, there's Blessed, there's Uncle Migui, Fides, awesome, Aya. Okay, these ones I don't think they are members of the team for 52 weeks. Shiro?
No, I didn't, to be honest.
Okay.
I didn't.
So do you understand why I am reluctant about training people? Because you become dependent on me and you forget that you paid 17,000, okay, to be learning how to do it for yourself. And then, so people go out of their way. That video has been on YouTube for a month. And only until the Americans came on board and the people who are not in Kenya is when my YouTube channel went up in numbers in terms of views. And that's when I knew, hiya, the Americans are watching these videos. The Kenyans have been here for 2 months and they ask me the same question. So guys, if you're not making money in trading, it's not because we don't have the tools. It's not because you don't know what to do. It's just because you're not allocating time to educate yourself. So even for the guests on the call, trading is a skill. It's a real skill. But once you learn it, that's it. Game over. Like I can tell you guys for sure, my dream is for you guys to have the satisfaction that I have, that I know and I know and I know. I can call 10 trades or 11 trades, and at least 9 out of 10, they'll hit TP. And am I right? For anyone who has traded with me from, it's called where, from May. Bernard,
Yes,
can you maybe give
very right,
your own testimony?
100% right.
Exactly. And that's
over 90% actually.
Sorry?
Over 90%. I estimate around 94, 96.
That's Bernard's opinion. Can you see? And he's been following me since May. So imagine if you guys could do the same thing. Have the satisfaction of knowing that out of 10 trades, 9 will hit profit. I mean, it's better than the harmonic scanner, on a light note. So, and then let me tell you something else, a part of my vision, and I'm hoping that you guys can help me get there. Also, the reason why I started my channel was because I told myself, and this brings me to my last point, which is about your culture, okay? So the last one's about your culture. Always be the hardest worker. So wait, I see. Yeah, the last one is about your culture. Be consistent about. Okay, so the last things that I want to talk about is what's your culture, okay? When you wake up in the morning, what do? I can tell you for sure, I'm usually awake by 4. In fact, we sometimes talk with Shiro. She always tells me, hey, I slept at 4 a.m. I'm usually awake. I can't sleep beyond 4 o'clock. Then sometimes in the morning, I know even Bernard, he does the same thing. At 7 o'clock, usingizi, sleep comes back and you want to go back to bed, yeah? But by that time, it's daytime, so you have to wake up. Now, when I wake up at that time in the morning, yeah, I do the same thing over and over again. I do the same thing. I'll probably open my phone, I'll look at the market, especially if there was a trade that was there overnight. I'll probably, if there's a training happening, like today in the morning, we were awake for the next wave leadership. I don't know how many of you guys were on that call. I'm hoping that 90% of you were on the next wave leadership call. I'll probably pray because I'm a prayerful person. I believe in God and everything. If you don't believe in God, it's okay. But that's what I do. And then in my head, I'm just planning, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Because I know that by 9 o'clock, if anyone knows, by 9 o'clock, I'm on my laptop, I'm looking at the charts, and I do this the same way, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 9 o'clock, I'm on my charts. 10 o'clock, I'm giving trades. By 11, I want to be out. So do you guys do the same thing every day? Because that's how you build consistency. Right now, I don't have to think about it. My body just reacts. I know if I'm not trading at 9 o'clock, if I'm not on my laptop, it's game over. As in, I'm just joking. So what is your culture? When you wake up in the morning, what do you do? Culture, according to a guy called Yuval Hariri, is all our human beliefs and all our human rituals and practices coming together. But what I know about culture, guys, all of you have a culture. All of you do something. Now, your culture, fortunately or unfortunately, was designed or pre-designed in you when you came into this world, right? And I'm not talking about your tribe or your race. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you believe, like what you believe to be true. Like sometimes I meet people who say, oh, Forex is a scam. Okay? And they say Forex is a scam. And I'm like, okay, sawa. But they've come with that culture based off what they were told by somebody. So generally, all of us have a certain way that we believe. Now, what I want to tell you guys is, if you're not where you want to be in life right now, it's because of your culture. So you need to begin to unlearn all the things that you have been taught about success, about this industry called network marketing. If you're not actively building, you're doing a disservice to yourself. If every single day you're not in a presentation, you're doing a disservice to yourself. Network marketing is the number one industry in the world that has turned average people into millionaires. Guys, if you met me, and a lot of my friends tell me, they're always like, hey, Lilo, this is you. This is you. If you met me before years ago, you'd not even want to talk to me. I was nowhere, and I'm telling you the truth, I was nowhere where I am now. I remember my mom telling me, why am I doing this thing? Because she used to worry about me and say, but you can't do this thing. You're not an entrepreneur. Because in our family, our culture has not been business. Some of you were born in a culture of business. For us, all of us are professionals. We have lawyers, we have engineers, we have bankers, professionals. There has been no, in my family, I am one of the few business people. I think in our family, we have maybe 1% business people and entrepreneurs. So for years, I was always being told to get a job. For years. The time my mom and my dad stopped telling me to get a job, can you believe when that was? Can anyone guess? Which year? Just guess which year. When they just said, okay, fine, we have left you with your entrepreneurship. Because I got into business in 2004, like self-employment. So 2004 till 2020, because even when I moved out of home, I started writing. My mom was still like, stop doing this, get a job. So I think until 2016, that's when they just gave up. They're like, that one, they even stopped talking about it. Like it used to be an issue, they just stopped talking about it. And I was telling my friend, during my launch is when my family came to anything that I do business related. I invite them, they never show up because they're not business people. But guys, imagine if I stayed in that space. So what I did and what I've always been doing since then, I've always been around people who are doing things in business. I've always been in that space. So for anyone on this call, if you really want to get to the level you want to get to, sometimes, like Bernard used to say this like a joke, sometimes you have to tell your family mentally, wewe kaa kando. Some of us are not lucky like Mercy and Bidan, okay, to be working together in this business. But sometimes you'll have to tell your spouse mentally, just relax. out of respect. You don't have to tell them at verbally because it will bring problems in your relationship. I'm not sure. I'm just saying. But if you really want to become a chairman, guys, you cannot be operating in the same level. You even have to now start talking to your spouse differently. You need to start talking to them about chairman every single day. You need to be including them in your conversations about trading every single day. They need to hear you talking about it. For me, that paradigm shift happened in my family because they kept on seeing me in entrepreneurship until they were like, okay, we have left you alone, you know? So of course, maintain your mentors, keep changing them. You can't always have just one mentor. You can have multiple mentors. And then the last thing is, I'll give you an example. There's one thing I want to also tell you guys. Now, this is a personal opinion again, and I'm about to wrap up. There's this thing that we are told in life that you just have to do one thing. Like, you have to be really good in one thing. And I know it's a very controversial thing. A lot of you probably believe in being one thing. Like, you just have to be a trader or you are a builder. I'm going to tell you guys this thing. If you think about the Bill Gates, for example. Bill Gates started in Microsoft, okay? And then what is he doing now? He's a philanthropist. Now he's a researcher. Sijui he's in medicine. Sijui he has whatever it is he does. So how is it that we believe that we can only do one thing, or we can only be good in one thing, yeah, and not in everything? And I'm going to ask you guys, for the married people on the call, if you can only be good in one thing, is your marriage successful? Does that mean that your marriage is going to suffer if you can only be good in one thing? Does that mean, like, as a parent, you cannot be successful as a parent? You cannot raise successful children because you can only be good in one thing. You understand? So there's this notion we have been taught in our education system that you can only be good in one thing. And I've seen it coming into IAM. In IAM, yeah, people come in and say, I just want to focus in trading. Now, I'm going to respect the people who come and say that from the beginning. Because if you come in and you say you want to be a trader only, that's fine. But if you come in and you say you want to be a trader and a builder, guys, you can be good in both a trader and a builder. You don't have to just be good as a builder. You don't have to just be good as a trader. And I remember in the beginning, that used to really disturb me as a person, because I'm like, no, we were given two options. We were told you can be a trader or a builder, a trader, or you can be a trader and a builder. So why did Chris Terry tell us that we can be a trader and a builder? Was it so that we can focus only on building, or it was to focus on building and trading? Yeah. So if you're saying you're going to be an IBO and you want to hit platinum, you cannot remove the foot off the brakes and say, okay, now I just want to trade. Or you can't just say, now I only want to build. Guys, it doesn't make sense. You are given 5 senses by God, except maybe if now, even if you don't have all 5, you at least have more than 2. God did not bless you with your multiple gifts and talents to just do one thing. I know it's very controversial, but that's not what I believe. If you look at me, myself, I'm a living testimony. And I'm telling you guys today, I'm not the smartest person in this amongst all of you. You guys probably have multiple degrees. I have 1 degree and I was done with education. I did not want to learn again. Some of you probably have masters, you have PhDs, you have certificates and all that. So you're much smarter than I am. But for me, I knew that God gave me all my abilities. And as long as I apply myself. So what we need to do, guys, is figure out how do we split our time in between everything that we are doing. And then another thing, IAM is not everything, by the way. If all you're thinking about is IAM Academy, you're lying to yourself. IAM Academy is not everything. IAM Academy is a financial vehicle to get you to your dream life. So yes, the money you get here, you will not just be trading. Once you finish trading, you can put it in other investments. You can start a business. You can explore other talents. That is wealth creation. When we talk about our presentation, the 5% and 95%, do you guys ever understand that? Do you ever really sit down to think that we are actually talking about you, that you can actually become a business owner with multiple streams of income? So if all you're thinking is I just want to be a trader, you're lying to yourself. You're not lying to yourself, but you're not giving yourself the full whatever, the full range of what you can do with this company. So I'll give you an example of a friend of mine called Shiro, and Bernard knows her. In fact, we were in Rotary together. She's called Shiro Aweru, not you, Shiro, but you could be her in future. And what I like about Shiro, she breaks the myth that of doing one thing. You break the myth of being good in one thing. Like I just be a doctor, I just be an engineer. Shiro is, when I met her, she was only doing interior design and she was doing furniture for kids. Over the years, and I met her in 2010, over the years, she has evolved into a manufacturer. She has evolved into a farmer. She has evolved into someone who does science projects for kids. Like she has a whole scientific program for children. They go there and they learn about how to make electricity and stuff like that. And I look at her and I'm like, how? She has even gone into Facebook. Like she has been invited by Facebook to go and speak. She has been invited by Michelle Obama to go and she, of course, she doesn't know I'm talking about her here. She's not in our industry. But I look at her with such respect, okay, because she's the epitome of growing your talents and not putting yourself in a box. So what I'm saying, guys, for you to also elevate as a leader, you have to remove yourself from the box. That's the only way. If you put yourself in a box, I'm a wife, I'm just a student, you're limiting yourself. So that brings me to the end of the presentation. And I'll just wrap up by saying, be consistent also about your excellence, be consistent about your commitment, and never quit. Just don't quit, guys. Don't quit. If I quit when I blew the $1,400 account, I would not be a master trader right now. You guys would not be taking my pips. This Team Kenya would still be struggling. Maybe, I don't know, but we'd still be struggling. Am I right? Yeah. But here I am because I didn't quit on myself. So you guys, and this is the last thing I'm saying, you guys, if you're not careful, you're quitting on Kenya, you're quitting on other Kenyans, you're quitting on other people outside Kenya, you're quitting on other people in the US. You're quitting on people in Nigeria who need to hear about this, need to learn about trading, need to become excellent at trading as well, need to build, need to change their economies, need to change their families. I mean, right now, I'm in a position I can say, I want to become so wealthy because I believe so, that my family, even if they're useless, for example, let's say, you know, the way you say, not useless like that, I mean in the sense that they don't have an income or they are struggling, or I can be able to say, don't worry, let me buy you a house. My cousin comes and tells me they don't have money for hospital. I'm not running away from them because we have to contribute. I'm saying, don't worry, let me pay for that hospital bill. So guys, I'm trying to elevate us to that level. And I like what Uncle Migwi always says, that he wants to change 50,000 lives in this, our country, you know. Have a goal to change someone's life. Let it not just be about your immediate family. Let it not be about your husband or your daughter. Right now, I'm beyond my baby, because I know for sure she will learn how to trade. And before it, she will not be here. She will be doing her own things. So beyond her, I have to have my own goals. Once I'm done with her, I have to have goals beyond my family. I like when we talk with Shiro and she talks passionately about her sister, you know, and I'm like, whoa, she wants to change the face of cancer in Kenya. You understand? That's the only way God will elevate you to that level. Because if you have small goals, and that's why it brings me to the last thing. I have 300 goals that I wrote in 2007. 300. And we are encouraged to have 1,000 goals. So I'm not even there yet. So if you don't have enough goals, you will not be able to continue doing what you're supposed to do. At a point, you will stop and you'll just sit there and continue and just be like, okay, life is okay. I'm okay earning $200, $1,000 a month. Why are you earning $1,000 a month when there are people earning $750,000 a month? Why? I mean, I'm just asking. Some people say, oh, money is not everything. Oh, money is, I'm not interested. I just want to just live a comfortable life. And I respect that. Okay, I respect all of you who say that. But why? Imagine you're doing a disservice to God. God gave you 5 talents, 5, he gave you senses. He gave you the abilities. He gave you a brain. He gave you, I don't know if I'm making sense, but anyway, I'm done, guys. Okay, I said I'm done, but there's one more thing I have to say. Stay humble. Stay humble. And be the king. And okay, there's this thing I read. Be the king or queen. Okay, mom, one last thing. Be the king or queen of turning negative into positive. And that has been my story. Anyone who knows me from when I started doing what I used to do years ago will tell you. And this is something I'm very proud of. I never complain. I mean, yes, I do complain. Let me not say I never complain. To my inner circle, I'll be like, oh, I'm frustrated. I'm not ranking up. I'm stressed. I'm broke, things like that. But my point is this. I never stay or wallow in pity. Oh, I blew an account. Oh, Siju, I've not signed up someone. Oh, I don't know. All those things that we tell ourselves to talk ourselves out of becoming great. All of you are great already. You guys have greatness inside you, okay? So you need to always remember that you can't quit on yourself. You have to be the king or queen of turning your negative into positive. My prayer is that Happiness, Oscar, Shiro, Paul, Mercy, Bidan, Bernard, all of us, Florence, we can one day go on stage, okay? Go on whatever stage. It doesn't have to be in the US, I don't know, in IAM. It can be on any stage. You can be elevated and called by the president to represent, I don't know what. That you'll be able to use your story, whatever your story is, to change someone else's life. If you're always listening to other people's stories and always being consistently inspired by other people's stories, there's a problem. You also have to be part of the person who's inspiring other people. So I like it when you guys tell me, oh, Lilo, you inspire me, etc. I mean, I accept it, but I want to also be inspired by you, Happiness. I want you, Shiro, to inspire me. I want Paul to inspire me. I want Uncle Migu to inspire me. I want to also say, oh my God, I have changed doing ABCD because Mercy showed me another way. Because Mercy hit chairman. Because, all these people on this call are doing great things. Let's stop playing small. Team Kenya, let's stop playing small. We have played small for a year and some. Shiro, and Shiro. Bernard Kiraive, Chairman 10. Where are you? We have played small. It's always Jason Brown. It's always Sijui who in Mexico, Sijui who in Colombia on the calls in the morning. Why can't we have a Kenya? And that's why I'm working so hard to become what? An educator. And this is what brings me to my last point. Please, guys, please start talking nicely to people about how I trade so that one day I'm bribing you guys. That's my dream, that one day I'll be an educator, and I've worked on this for 19 months. And that one day I'll also be a chairman 100. So I'm a chairman 100 on one side, and I am an educator. Not one, I want both, because I'm not settling for less. So how many of us are not settling for less as we wrap up? Awesome. Okay. So that's the end of my call, guys. I hope I've inspired you. Hey, BK ulikuwa umejificha. Now I can see your camera. And I just want to say thank you for all the leaders. I mean, some of you guys are amazing, amazing, amazing. I mean, Bernard Kiraive, let me tell you guys, this guy is phenomenal. And Bernard, I say this from the bottom of my heart. Sometimes I want to cry. Like right now when I talk about it, I want to cry. This guy, and this is what I'm finishing with. This guy used to pick me up when I had 0 shillings in my bank account to bring me to a presentation when Randy Webb was in the country in 2018. And I feel like crying when I talk about it. Woo. Yeah, anyway, as in seriously, guys, he used to pick me up. I had no electricity, I had no water. And he used to share his lunch with me. He used to, I don't even want to talk about it. But if you want a phenomenal leader, that's what leadership is all about. If you're going to raise people in this country, we have to go out of our way, because I wouldn't be here without Bernard. Like really, I wouldn't be here. So I'm sorry for crying, but that's the end of my story. And I thank you guys so much for just giving me this opportunity for our first call. Next week, we have Shiro, and over time, we'll have more women just coming here and just talking about their experiencing, because I want us all to inspire other people. It can't be just me. It can't be just Shiro. It can't be just Bernard. Let someone else also take this mantle. Happiness, you're here. Catherine Marami, Dorcas Baker, I think you're from maybe the US. Your name sounds American. Washuka, Charles, Nancy. Nancy, I know you're joining this academy. We've just talked. You're in the US and everything. As soon as you get started, Paul Fierrrce, as soon as you get started, please do not play small. Go for the big guns. Go to the top. Just go to the top. Just run there. Ndegwa, as in we're waiting for you to hit chairman. Run there. Okay, guys? So thank you, guys. Have a lovely, 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 lovely. I've talked for too long. It's 6:55, 7 o'clock presentation. Thank you very much. We are still on the same, what is it called? The same ID. So you can hang about, play music. Shiro will start the first half of the presentation and then I'll take over. But thank you guys for just being here. Asanteni. If you want to say something, you can say something.
Thank you.
But just don't tell people I was crying.
Thank you, Lilo.